wheels start spinning at the Motordrome. Fun and excitement for all the family. Newcastle International Motordrome. Champions are home at the Motordrome. Newcastle International Motordrome. Where all the action is. The rubber is burning. The track comes alive. The motors are revving. It's heavy metal heaven and they're ready to roar. Fun and excitement for all the family. Newcastle International Motordrome. Champions are home at the Motordrome. Newcastle International Motordrome. Where all the action is. The champions are charging. But the challenger is hot. It's the battle of wheels. It's the thrills and spills. It's the Motordrome. Fun and excitement for all the family. Newcastle International Motordrome. Champions are home at the Motordrome. Newcastle International Motordrome. Where all the action is. Newcastle International Motordrome. Ooh, yeah! Newcastle. Newcastle. Newcastle International Motordrome.
And a very big welcome to everyone to the Winds Newcastle Motordrome for the running of our third Super Sedan test between Australia and the United States. Tonight, our test match supported by Newcastle Metal Recyclers, and we take this opportunity on behalf of the drivers and you, the fans, to thank them very much for their support to bring you this international test series. The last test match in the series, and for those of you who need reminding, 2 tests down, the Australians have won both test matches. They have clinched the series, so tonight it's a matter of whether Australia can make it a 3-0 whitewash for the American series, or whether the Americans can fight back and get themselves on the scoreboard tonight. Let me introduce to you the 2 teams who will be representing their respective countries. Driving the yellow car, the current New South Wales champion, the team captain for Australia, John Pine. In the blue car, number 4, the guy who's had a wonderful season here at the Motordrome this season and has done well in the test match series so far, welcome Stu Robertson. Driving another of the number 1 cars, the reason being he is the current Australian champion, about to defend that title in just a couple of nights' time, so let's see him do well for the Aussies tonight. It's Ron Pine. And rounding out the team for what's been a fantastic team performance, and hasn't he played his part in the 2 Australian wins so far, in the number 6 car, John Brown. John, it's, as I said in the introduction, 2 tests to 0, and I guess the one thing on your mind is to make it 3-0.
Well, I'd like to, Ross. They tried to do it last year, and the thing is we've come here to give the guys and the ladies and gents and children that turn up tonight, you know, something. So we want to win 3 in a row in front of them, and I'm glad they come because they've braved the weather, and it hasn't been real nice to us lately.
Hasn't been good at all. And as you said, that is fresh in everybody's memory. The fact that the Americans looked like making it a 3-0 last year, they were really hot to trot. You guys did it right in the last lap of the last race, I think it was.
Yeah, we pulled a snooker trick on them, and that was one from the old days, but it paid off, and that was the main thing. But I hope that we all go out there tonight and have a great effort out there, and some side-by-side, real good racing, and the best man win, and hope the crowds see the goodness of it.
There's a brand new gold $1 coin. We'll toss that in just a moment. Ladies and gentlemen, they're back. They're down 2 test matches to 0. Can they get themselves on the scoreboard? Let me introduce to you the team captain. He's driving the number 1 car tonight, John Soares. Welcome back to Newcastle, John. You've had a trip up north. First of all, let me ask you about it, because it's been a heck of a wet one.
Yeah, it's rained everywhere we've been. I could have stayed home for that.
Well, I don't know. You'd have got worse, wouldn't you? You'd have got snowed in. Some terrible conditions in the States at the moment. But your trip north, now, the 2 sort of proper test match series were both held in Brisbane. it was a win and a draw for you. So you guys are starting to find some form.
Yeah, we got together pretty good there and got running, and Bert's come around good, and we've gotten better. It's that we haven't had the car problems, and without car problems, you're going to be more competitive. So situation there is if you got all four hitting, you're going to be a lot better off.
I guess one guy who would be really keen, and I'll introduce the other three drivers in just a moment, but one guy who's got to be keen to get some laps down tonight would be Bert. I mean, he's had a terrible couple of test matches here. Nothing's gone right for the guy.
Well, yeah, he's crashed everything, broke everything. If you name it, he's done it. He's drove all the cars. So when you get his autograph, he puts 1, 2, 3, 4. But he's still doing a good job, and I can't say enough about him. And you guys saw him run the first night, so he runs along pretty good, and he's going to get better.
Okay, last test match here in Australia, and the fans are here tonight. Speaking of autographs, a few of the fans were chasing some autographs after the last test. Are you going to be over there tonight? Are you making yourself available for the fans to sign some autographs?
Yeah, we'll be over there after the races over by the novelty stand, so you guys can come out and get some autographs.
Great,
no problem.
thank you very much, John. Let me introduce the rest of the drivers tonight, ladies and gentlemen, to make up this American team to try and stop the whitewash. He'll drive the number 2 car, wearing the black overalls. It's Charlie Schwartz. Welcome back, Charlie. The number 3 car, the guy we were just talking about, John reckons he just wrecks everything that he gets behind, but he's anxious to put some hot laps down tonight. Bert Cheatham, ladies and gentlemen, make him welcome. And the guy who's put his name down to see if he can become Australia number 1 in a couple of nights' time. Maybe it might go back to the United States. We never know. Welcome back to Newcastle, Steve Francis. He'll be driving to finish up the team tonight. John Soares, would you come on over with John Pine, the Australian captain, and we'll make the toss for positions in the first of our Newcastle Metal Recyclers test matches tonight. John has the brand new gold coin.
I want to tell you a funny story. It'll take a second. We went to Lismore, and you got a new 50-cent piece that's got 2 heads on it, and they tried to pull that on me, except I call heads.
All right, what are you calling tonight?
Heads.
Heads, okay, he's called. It's come up a tail. All right, the Australians have won the toss. Congratulations, John. Good luck to both teams tonight. Let's hear a big cheer for the Aussie team, you all you Aussie supporters. Great to have you with us. And what about the American supporters? Give your team a big cheer too. Welcome along. As John Pine said, ladies and gentlemen, you've braved the weather, and as we look around some of us here, there's some terrible black skies, but I reckon they're going to hold off, and we're going to get set for some absolutely fantastic racing, leading us into what promises to be 4 fantastic nights right here at the Wins Newcastle Motordrome. How are you? All right, the cars are rolling for the first race on our card tonight, the Newcastle Metal Recyclers Night, and it's the street stock sedan qualifying heats. We have 2 heats. This first heat is supported by Cardiff Wreckers. So we're all set and ready to run, and we are running. And on the inside, Troy Whiting, who's been in very good form in the last couple of meetings that we've had for the street stockers, he has taken full advantage of his front row grid draw and has shot to the lead. But some cars coming out of the pack in hot pursuit. The first of them chasing out the 25 car. Normally Shane Carlson, but the colour change I thought might have fooled me, but it hasn't. It is Shane Carlson. Good tight inside line on Whiting, and coming through with Shane Carlson to pressure Troy Whiting was Steve West, and he managed to hold down second placing. Moving up on the inside of Shane Carlson, so that relegates Troy Whiting back to third. He's not real happy with that. He's trapped up high on the track and not getting the drive. And then right behind, coming out of the pack and making some good ground, Bill Mcpherson moves up to 4th place. He's now going to try and make the dive through on the inside of Whiting, but it's Shane Carlson with just 3 laps to go. Got to hold off the pressure of Steve West.
Yes, Steve West now on the inside line. They seem to be sticking to that lower line on the track. You saw Whiting get up high, and he lost a lot of ground, but it's Carlson doing the best out front in 25 car. Second spot, Steve West. He's trying his hardest to get Carlson, but he can't quite pick him up. He lost a little bit of ground there coming out of 3-4. He swings it into turn 1-2, but he's got a lot of work to do. He's starting to run out of laps. There's only 1.5 to go now as they go into the Hunter Communications timer, and it's Shane Carlson in car 25 quite comfortably now. He's starting to pull away from West in second spot. Whiting starting to try and get it all together, but he's up on the apron of the track, and here comes Rob Maunder all over the place. A couple of fishtails down the main straightaway. He manages to straighten it up. He's back in 5th spot, but only half a lap to go for the race leader. And this has been a good determined drive by Carlson. He worked hard for the lead, and he's going to come down to grab the checkered flag. Car number 25, Shane Carlson. He takes out the first heat ahead of Steve West in the 3 car. Then came Whiting in 3rd position, followed by Billy Mcpherson. Rob Maunder was next. A car flashing up on the inside was car number 12. It's not shown in the program. I think it might be Taylor, though, in the 12 car. And Perkins was one of the last to cross the line ahead of Williams. And car number 36, driven by somebody. Johnny Patmore. But the race wins, gone to car number 25, Shane Carlson. And give him a round of applause as he does his lap of honour. He takes out the first heat, the Street Stock Sedan qualifying heats brought to us by Carter Freckers.
We have a lot of interstate visitors with us tonight, Joel, and I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome all of our interstate visitors who are here for the Australian titles in particular. And we'd like to welcome all of those interstate visitors who are here having a look at the Motordrome track. We're very proud of our track. We believe it's the #1 track in Australia. And we thought that with the modified rods here tonight, we'd throw them on the track and give you a look at them. And away they go for heat number 2 of the Street Stock Sedan qualifying heats. And this heat is supported by Burton's Radiators. Down back straight away, and Cliff Schaefer has shot to the lead first up. And Cliff Schaefer looking to win a race here at the Motordrome. It'll be a long while that I can remember. Oh, trouble behind. Trouble in a big way with the number 57 car of Greg Mulherin being sent to the rear of the field for bringing the race to a stop. He got tangled up. Joel was keeping his eye on the action that happened, but apparently he got involved in the incident and contributed more than the officials wanted him to contribute.
He certainly did, Ross. He just got a little bit sideways, Greg Mulherin, in the orange 57 car coming out of turn 3-4, and just managed to tack onto the back of one of the other drivers. I think it may have been car number 80 was the one involved, I think. I'm not sure about that, but Red Cotton, and just put him around, and the finger now being pointed at Greg Mulherin. So back to the rear you go, son. And he'll take his place at the back of the field for the restart. Cliff Schaefer will won't be too happy with that. He was out in front and looked like he might have started to run away with things, but the restart on, yellow lights start to flash, and we're ready for a single file restart.
Okay, we've got that single file restart, and Cliffy Schaefer grabbed the lead again from Peter Gray. Darryl Norrie in 3rd place, trying to put some pressure on Peter Gray, but Gray's concentrating on his job, and that is trying to get by Cliff Schaefer. Cliff Schaefer leads. Peter Gray having a go at him in the big black car, trying to come through on the inside. Darryl Norrie sees an opportunity to try and move up on the inside as well, and couldn't come through because the gap closed very quickly. Peter Gray has elected to drop down trackside now and see if he can save some ground on Cliffy Schaefer to try and get by. Into main straight away, and Schaefer's still the leader. He's up very... Oh, is he going to sell out? I think he is. He got the wobbles. He's starting to lose his cool. He's cracking under pressure, and Peter Gray's the one that's putting the pressure to him. Gray got through on the inside. Cliffy has choked. He's gone up on the outside. Wham! Oh, here in main straight away. Loretta Jackson. No relation to Michael or Latoya, but she has creamed the concrete wall right here in main straightaway and has brought the race to a stop.
Looks like a new car too, Ross, the Commodore. I think she was just testing out the right-hand guard to see what sort of impact it can take. And now she'll go onto the infield. It would have frightened her a bit, I would think, but it just seemed to take a right-hand turn coming down main straightaway.
And I was watching Cliffy Schaefer get the hippie shakes going out of turn 2.
Yes, Cliffy
cracked under the
he
pressure.
Had it there, but he might be lucky. They might go back a lap here.
Oh, yes,
You'd
yeah,
think,
they might
and he
too.
might regain that lead. So he might be lucky. He might have a second bite at the cherry. But he certainly was driving well, but the pressure came very thick and fast from Peter Gray and also Darryl Norrie in the 73 car on the inside and on the outside. And
Look at
I
these
think they're
guys.
racing
Right,
already.
They're off, Joel. They've bolted.
You got to wait for the green light, though, I think, Ross.
Cliff wants to win this race and Peter Gray wants to take it off him. Neither of them, I think, have won a race this season. I can't recall them winning a race at the Motordrome this season. They both realise that here's their golden opportunity to grab a victory. But what's Cliffy doing? He's still going at 50 kilometres an hour.
I think he wants a head start.
He wants the win. Now the lights flash. Cliff said, you're going to have to work hard to take this from me. He's got the jump. He's got about a 10-metre break. And yes, the steward says, away you go. Now, Peter Gray was the one that got a little untidy. I think he might have been frustrated with the lead that was given to Cliffy Schaefer. Well, it's been presented to him. He got a good 20-metre break. Darryl Norrie can't get past Peter Gray, and the rest of the cars are packed up pretty tightly behind. Let's give them some credit for some tight racing too. But just 3 laps left to go. Can Cliff Schaefer hang on and hold out Peter Gray and Darryl Norrie, who are both coming charging at him?
Well, Norrie's the danger, Ross. If he can get clear of Gray, and he does that now, Schaefer will be in all sorts of trouble. Norrie, a very fine driver in this street stock division, but take nothing away from Cliff Schaefer. He's got this race lead and he's not going to give it up that easily. Norrie in second spot now gets clear. Now he's the man that'll set sail out after Schaefer. Schaefer gets a little bit high as he comes out of the turns, whereas Norrie, in contrast, seems to stay nice and tight and low on the track, and he's making up ground as well, but they're only going to come down with one more lap to go. On the inside, Norrie. On the outside, Schaefer starting to get the wobbles. Norrie getting a little bit closer. It's going to come down to the last lap. On the outside, Norrie now switches for a move. He might tuck back down inside. He does. Schaefer drift a little bit high, and he's got him. Down back straight away, Darryl Norrie under the inside. Schaefer give the race lead away, and Norrie's going to grab this. But back on the outside comes Schaefer, but Darryl Norrie, take nothing away from the man. What a great drive. He takes the race win ahead of Cliff Schaefer in second spot. Then came Gray in car number 18 in third position, and the cars coming across the line behind him, Maria Edmonds in the 54 car, the 80 of Cotton, and car number 76, which is not shown in the program. It's Gary Smith in the 76 car. It's just packed it in. But a good race win to Darryl Norrie, Ross. He had no hope, you would think, with a couple of laps to go, but he just came from nowhere. He picked up the race win, and he takes out the second heat, brought to us by Burton's Radiators at the Street Stock qualifying heats. And put your hands together, because he does deserve a round of applause. The race winner, the 73 of Darryl Norrie. But we've got the 5 on the track, and we're just about ready to get into race action.
So particularly for the visitors who are here tonight, because the modified rod drivers arrive, we'll throw them on the track and let you experience some of their racing. They're set to go, and in fact they've got a green light. And John Brown from the pole position jumps straight into the lead. He'll use this head-to-head match race to set himself up and see how the track is for the test match series tonight. So it gives him a good look at the track surface. John Brown leads Greg Cassidy, Bruce Murray, Greg Smith and Dave Bryan on the tail of the field. Oh, but gee, Brownie, he is firing up in the modified rod tonight. He's starting to scoot right away from them. Cassidy's trying hard in second place, then Bruce Murray. Oh, Greg Smith almost got out of control coming out of turn 4, but kept it together. And Dave Bryan is still tacked on the tail of the field. However, it is John Brown setting a cracking pace up front. Cassidy's starting to come out after him, and he's starting to pick him back slowly but surely. So Cassidy's going to make John Brown work for it.
Yes, Brown now, though, starting to open a commanding lead. He really has got the car going beautifully. Out of turn 3, 4, he can look at the line, very nice and tight and low, whereas compared to Cassidy, who tends to throw it around a bit in second spot, and that's losing him Brown, and that's allowing John Brown to skip away. Murray back in third spot, and Smith in the 23, the only other car in it, but they'll only have one to go from here. And John Brown, well, he certainly has come of age from the start of this test match series. He really has matured very well as a driver, and he goes down back straight away for the last time, and he'll pick up the checkered flag in the first of the modified rod races. Car 7, John Brown, is the race winner ahead of the 20 of Cassidy. 31, oh, look out, into the wall goes Smith, and that front end of that car is absolutely shattered. Well, he just seemed to keep going straight into the wall, and I think someone's forgot to tell a couple of these drivers tonight that you've got to turn in some of these corners, but it looks like it may have been some sort of mechanical failure. The car just shot off to the right all of a sudden.
Got up high on the track, Joel, and might have, you know, the steering situation would have been different in the different type of track surface. Not that it's a big difference, but just getting into that heavier stuff on the top of the track, and it just took the steering right away from him. He went straight out towards the fence and hit the concrete wall and hit it very hard. So we'll just check down those placings as we saw them. 7, John Brown first, 20, Greg Cassidy second, and the only other car to greet the checkered flag was the 31 of Bruce Murray, and a time recorded of 1:30.206. 1:30.206. So, into the start zone they come for the first of our Litre car races tonight. 6 laps at the Motordrome track. And away they go. And on the outside of this car 15 of Brendan Roots, who grabbed the lead. Oh, a car in early trouble is the 77 car of Paul Cox. He's gone onto the infield and out of the action almost immediately, but have a look at a bunch up front. Brendan Roots has been given the go-by, although he's trying to come back on the outside and doing a good job of it too. But it's car number 20 of Paul Rinken who's fighting for the lead with him. Now Rinken, oh, all of a sudden seemed to slow down going down back straight away. But Brendan Roots got the lead back again. But up on the inside comes the 95. This is the Queenslander. Queensland 95, Ray Wright. Well, Ray used to come to this area. He's obviously moved to Queensland and become a member of their association, and is back here on holidays, I would reckon. And Ray Wright absolutely powering his way down main straightaway at the Newcastle Motordrome. It's the former New South Welshman, now a banana bender, Ray Wright, heading into turn 3-4 with a big lead, just 2 laps left to run.
Yes, 2 laps left to run, and he came out of the pack very quickly, Ray Wright. He's grabbed the race lead, and they're not going to get anywhere near him. Brendan Roots in second, back in third spot. There's the battle going on, the 27 car of Kevin Begg. He was being put under pressure by the 32 car of Brian Kibble, but Kibble got into trouble there and was off the pace. There's only one to go for the race leader, and the 95 car of Wright has skipped right away, down back straight away, under the time of the last time, and this is going to be a quick one. Into the main straightaway to grab the checkered flag, the 95 of Ray Wright. He's the race winner, and very impressively over the second spot of Brendan Roots. Then we go right back to the 27, the 25 or 27 car. Kevin Begg will call it, ahead of Kibble in the 32. Then came the 20 of Rinken. Harvey in the 23 was next. Car 53 across the line, ahead of the 31 car of Reg Carley. He'll be one of the last to finish, and a time of 1:32.725. 1:32.725, and a very quick time to the race winner, car 95, Ray Wright.
No race start. The yellow light stayed on. The number 9 car of Sean Barnett, pretty keen to jump to the lead. Also, for visitors, keep an eye on the black and yellow car, the car with the big CGE wing. That's Mel Guy. He is currently ranked number 1 in our Hunter Communications rankings in Litre sprints here at the Motordrome. Now we've got to go. The starter much happier with that one, and Sean Barnett made a terrific start. Michael Walker got out quickly on the outside, but didn't quite have the power to be able to take advantage of the high line, and with the low line advantage, it was the pole sitter, that's Sean Barnett, who sets up a lead at the end of the first lap. Michael Walker is second, Graham McComb is third. Mel Guy sliding through on the inside, grabs 4th place in front of Peter Challen, and down main straight away comes our race leader. It's Sean Barnett, followed by Michael Walker, Graham McComb, and then Mel Guy getting a little closer to Graham McComb as they go out of turn 2 and head into turn 3-4. Watch for the pass from Mel Guy. No, I thought he was going to try and come through on the inside, but he elected not to make his move in that corner. Now he's trying to make the move on the inside of McComb, but he got squeezed right up there. That was again another bad option that he tried to take. Now McComb comes across the bows of Melguy once more, and these three cars starting to really tighten up. Michael Walker, the white car, in second place. Graham McComb, the orange car, in third place. And Melguy, the black and gold car, waiting to swoop on the outside. Will he grab them? Only a lap to go for the race leader.
Back on the inside comes Melguy. He's trying to get around McComb. Now he goes up high. Now he's got him down main straightaway, but McComb back on the inside. Well, the race leader, Barnett, he's going to grab the checkered flag, but what a battle for second and third. Barnett crosses the line to get the checkered flag first. Second spot's going to go to Melguy. That's a good drive. Third will go to McComb in the 40 car. Then came Walker, who slowed badly, followed by Harris. Challen was next across the line ahead of Kime in the 56 car. And 132.441, the time recorded, 132.441. Another quick time and a good race win has gone to car number 9 of Sean Barnett, who has been improving in the ranks over the last few meetings, and he's grabbed the race win, and we're no doubt very pleased with his performance. 132.441 was the time recorded for our second heat of the Litre cars, brought to us by Mid-Coast Petroleum.
Stock cars grouping it all up and getting set to rock and roll. There's the start, and West got away very well from the second row of the grid. In fact, so well, he's going to grab the lead going into the first corner. Now, there's a car in trouble, the 86 car. He got himself sideways, and it was more or less like writing a sign on there, hit me, hit me, hit me. And they did. And there's another one down back straight away. Clark in car number 79, has he copped the serving? And another one here in main straightaway. The stockies are wrapping it up tonight. Whoa, Steve West had the race lead and has done a big 360 all on his own. He just had the big spin out. Now he gets going again, but he's gone from first to about 15th. Coming into main straightaway, it's Michael T who has the lead. Second place is Stevie Ralston, then Darren Horton has moved up to third, Paul Clark is fourth, Jamie Ralston is fifth. Now here's a bit of shoulder-to-shoulder action going into turn one. Shoesmith in the 22 car, getting locked up with the 36 car, and Steve West saying, well, look, while you two fellas are having a bit of Tate-a-Tate, I'm coming through on the inside, and he's moved his way back into fifth position. Whoa, Paul Clark got the wobble up and slammed into the concrete wall here in main straightaway. He fishtailed, and the back end of his car clipped the concrete wall. Here's the race leader in the chocolate brown car number 95, Michael T. I was thinking of something else, but as this is a family night out at the Motordrome, we'll leave it at chocolate brown, and Michael T has the lead. Coming into turn 3-4. He'll have only one more lap left to circulate. There he goes. Michael T, Stevie Ralston about to cop a hammering, but he held on to that attempted spin out very no. That's what you call a coming together. And it involves Steve Ralston. Here comes the checker, and here comes the winner, 95 Michael T. Second place goes to 35 Darren Horton, and third place goes to 78 Paul Clark. For those of you who like to keep the stats, the time recorded for that race was 2 minutes 13.896, as showing up on our Hunter Communications timer. So now, as we clear the stockies away, we will be getting set for the first batch of heats in our Newcastle Metal Recyclers third Super Sedan test.
So the car's starting to bank themselves up.
And the steward is just checking out which American car is not being used. He wants to know which car is out of service, and it looks like the 4 car is the one they're not going to use. So, here we go with the test match for Newcastle Metal Recyclers.
Round 1, heat number 1. They look good as they come into the main straight. They get the green flag. John Pine on the outside. Brownie was a little bit slow to get away. On the inside is Soares. Soares is starting to box it on, but Pine on the outside had too much power, and he goes to the race lead. They need to kill the 3 points here because the Americans are running second and third. Soares in second spot. Charlie Schwartz will be keen to get past Soares to try and have a crack at John Pine and John Brown. He missed the start. He was a little bit slow. I think he might have thought the yellow light was going to stay on. Pine drifts up a little bit high now, and that gives Soares a look in, but he hasn't got the gas there. It comes from the outside, and now we get blasts away from Soares. Down main straightaway, down back straight, and John Pine, he's got the 3 points covered. Can Brownie get up on the inside of Schwartz to try and make it a situation of 4-2? Only one more lap to go. That's what we've got to do, try and get Brownie up on the inside of Schwartz. He's going to try and have a crack at him. Schwartz is very cunning now, he'll just play the block. He's just blocking Brown out of the race. Into main straightaway, heat number 1, goes the Australians, John Pine. He takes out the first heat. Soares will be second for the United States, Charlie Schwartz third, and John Brown fails to score, picking up 4th placing in a time of 1:01.988. 1 minute 1.988, the time recorded for heat number 1.
Let's take a check on our Newcastle Metal Recyclers scoreboard. 3 points to Australia, thanks to a win to John Pine for 3 points. John Brown unable to support him on the scoreboard in that heat, and it was a 3-point heat for the Americans. The USA driver John Soares scored 2 points, and Charlie Schwartz scored 1 point, so it was a 3-all heat. No lead established after heat number 1 in our Newcastle Metal Recyclers International Super Sedan Test number 3. Australia and the United States, 3 points all. Heat number 2, the Australian champ Ron Pine with Stu Robertson in the 4 car, with Bert Cheatham, and driving the 7 car is Steve Francis. Francis in the 7.
Ready for a start in heat number 2. They look pretty set, and they get the green on the outside. Getting away very quickly was Cheatham. Oh, Ron Pine sold out in front of the field, up onto the infield. He want to keep going. No, he stopped it, and the red lights come on. So a little bit of action into turn 1-2. Ron Pine seemed to go sideways there, and he hampered the rest of the field. And we'll just wait for the call from the Chief Steward, whether it'll be a complete restart or whether...
It is, Joel, a complete restart with Ron Pine to the rear of the field. So this will give the Americans an opportunity to get a 4-2 in this heat. Pine, for newcomers to the track, Ron Pine, the current Australian champ, has really had some troubles getting this car together all season. It is just not happening for him. And tonight the troubles look like they're continuing. It is not happening again.
So they put the Americans on the front row of the grid.
Where was Robbo? He was in position...
Back in 3, I think.
3 now. He'll go up to 2. It'll mean everybody will go up 1 because Ron Pine had pole position, didn't he? So... So Ron Pine will have to go position 4. So the Americans have got a golden opportunity. Now, this is incorrect, Joel. This is wrong because all it means is everybody shuffles up a spot. So the 3 car will go position 1. Robertson will go up to 2. Francis will be 3. And Pine goes back to 4. I still don't see that as being right, but then I'm not the official. The American cars running off the front row of the grid.
Light start, flash.
Stand by.
Ready for a start in heat number 2. The Americans a golden opportunity. On the outside though, Ron Pine got the split. Into the turn they go and it's Francis. Down low Cheatham though. He holds on to second spot and it's a 5-1. Well, the Aussies are going to try and break this up. Ron Pine up on the inside. He comes. He's got to get in front of Cheatham and he does too. Oh, nice move, but no, he's backed off the last minute. Out in front though, Francis has got the lead. Cheatham in second spot. And then comes Stu Robertson for Australia. Well, the Aussies are down. On the inside though, Piney's having a throw at Cheatham, but Cheatham's got him covered too. This is nice driving by the Americans. They've got the opportunity. Francis is starting to clear away. Now Cheatham's the danger. He drifts wide in the turns and Ron Pine will be noticing that and he'll try and come up on the inside. He tends to throw it very early. Now you see him set himself. He's only got 1 lap to go. Well, the United States 5-1. Up on the inside, Piney though. A little bit of smoke coming from the car. He's gone. No, it's kicked again. Well, a little bit of smoke came from the car, but this is a great heat for the United States. Down to the line, a 5-1. Down they come, and it's Francis first. Second spot will go to Cheatham. Ron Pine will be third. And Stu Robertson in fourth spot. A slightly quicker time, 1 minute exactly. 0.437 for the running of heat number 2, and a very interesting situation.
Well, it certainly was, Joel. Ron Pine, I've got to give him credit. He gave everything he had to try and peg back that advantage that the Americans had, because he was the one that gave them the opportunity to get a 5-1 on the board. And he did everything he possibly could to make amends for his mistake, but he found a tiger in Bert Cheatham. So the Americans got 5 points out of that heat, 3 to Steve Francis, 2 to Bert Cheatham. And the Australians only got 1 point out of that heat, 1 point to Ron Pine, and Stu Robertson didn't score. So for 1 for Australia and 5 for the United States means that the US have now grabbed a lead, and a pretty handy 4-point lead it is too. The USA 8, Australia 4. Whoa, Ronnie is revving.
Light start the flash. Chance for Australia to grab back these points in heat number 3. No start, I would guess. They got the green flag. Cheatham got away the quickest. John Pine in the second spot. Oh, Cheatham threw everyone there. He balked a little bit and it stacked them up a bit. But here comes John Pine. He'll seize the opportunity that Cheatham drifts wide. Into the turn they come for the first time. Cheatham leads the United States. Captain Australia, John Pine in second spot. Then comes Ron Pine and Soares has tailed right off. Well, Australia need to get up into this first position. Cheatham, though, he's driving very well tonight. He's keeping it tight and low. Piney up on the inside. He's used the infield. He's trying to get around in the brush. Grayson's starting to creep in now. The Australians up on the inside. Pine's got him. Oh, good move by John Pine. Ron Pine's got him as well. Well, that's the 5-1 back to the Aussies. Straight up the first and second. John Pine leads. Ron Pine second. 1 lap to go. John Pine cops the caution flag for the use of the infield. Bert Cheatham finds himself back in third spot and saw his tailed right off into the final turn. And let's hear it for the Aussies. They grab back the points. John Pine will get the race win and Ronnie Pine in the second. Third place goes to Bert Cheatham and Soares is tail off in fourth spot. And Ross, that's the reply they wanted. 1 minute. 0.738 the time recorded, and Australia hit back straight away. Now Bert Cheatham is having a few words, I think, with John Pine. He's not happy with Pine's the situation, but for mine, I think he got him fair and square. He used the infield, but there was no advantage gained, and I think Cheatham was a little bit disappointed with that performance, but Australia on the scoreboard, they grabbed the 5 points back.
Oh, just as you said it, that was the reply the Aussies wanted. They needed a 5-1 and a determined John Pine got it. He drove aggressively, but I agree with the comments. He did try to use the infield in turn 4 and it proved to be absolutely no advantage to him whatsoever, and he realised that, and then Cheatham went offline and he decided, okay, I'm going for it. And he went through on the inside of Cheatham, and Ron Pine took full advantage of that aggressive move by John Pine. So on the scoreboard, John Pine 3, Ron Pine 2, Australia got 5. For the United States, Bert Cheatham scored 1 and John Soaries failed to score. 5-1 for the heat, and now squares it all up again. Australia and the United States back to level pegging. They're on 9-all on our Hunter Communications scoreboard for Newcastle Metal Recyclers.
Well, a great reply from the Aussies. Now they've just got to try and edge their way back. This is heat number 4 in our third test match, brought to us by Newcastle Metal Recyclers. Into they come to they get the green flag. John Brown was away quickest on the outside. Francis and Brownie got the advantage on the inside, and he shut him off. Coming through Charlie Schwartz. Now that could be a key move for the United States. Schwartz now is going to try and put the pressure on John Brown out in front, and Stu Robertson starting to box on with Francis. So this is interesting. Oh, Brownie drifted a little bit there, but he kept it under control and didn't let it get too far out of hand, and he's got the race lead. Charlie Schwartz, though, look at the pressure. It's starting to come from Schwartz on the inside. Schwartz has got him. No, Brown comes back on the outside. This is a gutsy effort by John Brown. Charlie Schwartz is throwing everything at him. He knows he wants to try and get that advantage back off Australia that they got back from the United States. But Brown, oh, this is a superb drive by Brownie. Nice and tight. He's only got one left to go. Can we bring him home? John Brown out in front. Schwartz is going to have one last dive at him on the inside, but the gate shut pretty quickly. He's lost all chance, I think, into the final turn. And what about a round of applause for this bloke? John Brown for Australia. He kills the 3 points. Second spot, Charlie Schwartz. Third goes to Francis. And Stu Robertson comes across the line in 4th place in another 1 minute time. 1 minute, .743. And that wraps up heat number 4 with a win going to John Brown.
And did he need that one, because there was plenty of pressure coming from the old fox, Charlie Schwartz. But 3-all from that heat. 3 points for Australia to John Brown. Stu Robertson failed to pick up a point. For the United States, 2 points to Charlie Schwartz, 1 point to Steve Francis. So a 3-all heat has the scoreboard locked up again at 12-all. 12-all on the scoreboard as the Australian driver John Brown comes onto the track in main straightaway, and already the 2 American cars on the racetrack. We have the USA 3 car of Bert Cheatham and the USA 2 car of Charlie Schwartz coming up against Ron Pine and John Brown. Well, maybe this is a heat that the Americans can look to try and get a break. Ron Pine has a lot of pressure on him here to keep his cool. He certainly showed some determination in his previous start after making the mistake. He tried everything. Now he's really got to get away to a good start, not make a mistake in that first corner, and put the pressure right on the Americans. Stand by for heat 5 of the Newcastle Metal Recyclers Super Sedan Test number 3.
Lights flashing now, ready for a start. There's Charlie Schwartz just backing off a little bit, trying to play a little bit of cat and mouse. Oh, and they got the green flag too. It badly bought. Oh, up on the side goes Schwartz. I thought he was going to go over for a minute, but Ron Pine got the race lead. He's too high on the track, and that allows Schwartz to come through. This is what the United States need, but Ron Pine, the Aussie champ, back on the inside. He nearly got a little touch from Schwartz as they came down main straightaway. Schwartz leads. Ron Pine in second. Cheatham in third. He's gone, is he? No. Browning on the inside. They need Brown to get up for that third placing to make it a 3-all situation. At the moment it's Schwartz, and then comes Ron Pine followed by Cheatham. John Brown trying desperately to grab him in that third spot. Cheatham drifted a little bit, but Brown couldn't capitalise on the mistake, and he stays in 4th position. Down they come. Charlie Schwartz out in front. Ron Pine has a crack on the inside. Only one more left to go. The Aussies need to grab a 3-all. They're behind at the moment. Schwartz from Pine. Then comes Cheatham, and John Brown just can't quite get the Cheatham in 3rd spot. Into the final turn they come, and Charlie Schwartz is going to take a Ron Pine on the inside. Schwartz has got him. Schwartz first, Pine, Ron Pine second. 3rd place will go to Bert Cheatham in car number 3, and John Brown just couldn't quite pick him up and finishes in 4th placing. 1 minute exactly, .565. 1 minute, .565. And a good heat for the United States, heat number 5.
Yes, it was a 4-2 in favour of the United States. For the USA, their 4 points came 3 from Charlie Schwartz, 1 from Bert Cheatham, whilst the 2 points for Australia were both scored by Ron Pine, 2 points to him. John Brown failed to pick up a point, so it was a 4-2 heat in favour of the United States, and they now grab the lead in the series. The United States 16, Australia 14. And we come to heat 6, the last heat in the first round of competition, and Stu Robertson and John Pine for Australia, and for America we have Steve Francis and John Soares. It is important that the Australians at least get a 3-all here. If they let the Americans get another 4-2, that opens up a 4-point break going into the last batch of heats, and then the Aussies have got catch-up speedway to do. Right now, they're trying to catch up 2 points on the Americans. They trail by 2 as we enter heat 6 for Newcastle Metal Recyclers.
Big chance for Australia here. Stu Robertson and John Pine. They need to get the advantage. They're nicely bunched. Coming in the acceleration zone. No start this time.
Well, Francis realises how important this is. He tried to get a sneak on the inside of Robertson, and the official not happy with the fact that he broke the 4-car rank. He wants them packed up in 4. Now they're set.
Americans tried to sneak a little start there, but now they're set for the final heat in round number 1. And nicely packed this time. Soares very slow to go away. Now they get the green flag. Soares has got to the race lead, but Stu Robertson on the inside's got him. Oh, he drifted wide, and John Pine got the split straight through the middle. Up to 1 and 2, but here comes Francis. No, the Aussies hang on. Oh, well, Stu Robertson out in front. John Pine and the Americans are left scrambling with each other. Back in 3rd spot, Francis. Then comes Soares. They've got to catch up here. Otherwise, they're going to find themselves behind on the scoreboard going into round 2. And look at Robertson. Stu Robertson got the race lead, but Priney says, come on, get going, because they're coming very fast, and it's Francis in 3rd spot that's putting the pressure on. But John Pine, he's the professional at this. He's had all the experience in the world, and he's just playing the tactics here. He's going to cover Stu Robertson for this race win. He's got him covered. Stewie can drift up mid-track if he wants. 1 to go. Stu Robertson for Australia. John Pine for Australia. This is great team driving by the Aussies. Back in 3rd spot is Francis, and Soares is right out of it. Into the final turn. Francis will have a crack. Oh, Stewie's gone, is he? No. He corrects it. Stu Robertson first and John Pine second for Australia. A 5-1 heat. 3rd place goes to Francis of the United States, and John Soares right off the pace in 4th position. And you can see a little bit slower time. 1 minute 2.066. The time recorded, and what a way to go into the second round with a 5-1 heat.
Yes, what a comeback and a great call for some fantastic teams driving by John Pine, the Aussie captain. What about it, Aussie fans? Let's hear it for Robbo and Piney. All right. They picked up a big 5-1 there. 3 points to Stu Robertson, 2 points to John Pine to give the Aussies 5. The Americans scored 1 point. Terrific burst by Steve Francis in the last half a lap to try and do something about scoring and breaking up the Aussies. He couldn't do so. He scored a point. John Soares didn't score. So at the end of heat 6, the Aussies have a 2-point lead. Australia 19, the USA 17. Jamie Ralston and Bruce Shoesmith have the front row of the grid, and then the Clark brothers. Paul and Andrew Clark have second row. They're standing by for the official start. And in fact, they're away. The Stockies doing it one more time before we head to our interval break. And into, oh, there's trouble. Shoesmith's in right in front of the pack. Are they all going to wham, bam, and thank you, ma'am. We've got 5 cars locked up in turn 1, 2. They're getting themselves sorted out. Race continues. Jamie Ralston's got a big break on Steve West and Andrew Clark, Michael T and Paul Clark. Down back straight away is our race leader, but have a look behind him. There's a spin out. The second car, Steve, complete 360, good bit of driving. And there's Michael T up onto the windrow again. The Clark brothers are doing the Blues brothers at the moment. They're rocking and rolling everybody right out of the road. Where's some more action? Down here in turn 3-4. Looks like Stevie Ralston's going to try and make up for some lost ground. Oh, Rod Boyce got into trouble right in front of him. They got a little bit of a bump and a smack there, but otherwise they're okay.
Poor old Shuey, Ross. He's had more head spins than Mike Whitney, the guy, this year. He's just gone round and round, but he's back on the track. Here's a bit of action into turn 1-2. No, he couldn't quite get on the back. They're starting to spread out a bit.
I've lost the leader. Here he is in main straightaway.
He'll unload a few, Jamie.
Yeah,
Ralston.
he might get himself in trouble though, because here's Clark slicing through on the inside. Ralston on the outside, Clark on the inside. He's trying to push Clark onto the infield. Clark's trying to push him back again. I tell you what, this is like Toss Yazoo in the ring with the Hugo Pineda, but there goes Andrew Clark giving Jamie Ralston the spino heave-ho. He led the race all the way with one more lap to go, and God damn it, he said. There goes Andrew Clark down back straight away. He's unloading them left, right and centre. This has been a pretty big effort by Andrew Clark to come down and take the checker. There he is, Andrew Clark first, Steve West second, and Paul Clark is in third. So the stock cars providing us with plenty of action and entertainment from that heat. As we move into our interval break. Okay, let's move them into the start zone for event 7, the Go-Karts Go Better Ride Street Stock Sedan Final, and away they go. Oh, Peter Gray getting shuffled up onto the infield, bounces back down onto the track. Look out, here I come, he says, get out of my way. I'll tell you what, a few of them behind him did scamper out of the road too, particularly Shane Carlson, who took evasive action by heading up towards the concrete wall. Coming into main straight away, Cliffy Schaefer has the lead. Can he hang on to it this time? Troy Whiting moves into second place. He'll be the real danger. Maria Edmonds is running third. Bill Mcpherson is fourth. Then comes Shane Carlson squeezing out of the pack. Steve West goes up into sixth place. Into main straight away, still Cliff Schaefer's got the lead. Oh, he drifted out wide. Whiting will hook up on the inside. Schaefer out wide. Whiting gives him the move over, and Mcpherson slam. 1, 2, 3. He's still hooked up on the concrete wall. He can't get away from it. He's done half a lap on the concrete wall. Finally, he's come away. He'll have no red paint left on the side of the car when he comes down main straightaway. Troy Whiting is the lead. Oh, Cliffy's gone into the wham. Wow. Whoa, straight in. Woo! I think our flag marshal showed him a flag, and Cliffy got the shock of his life and headed straight to the concrete wall.
Well, Ross, I think yeah.
He's climbing out. Let's see, he's okay. Yeah, he's right. Cliffy's out. Good on you, matey.
I think
he's okay.
Flag marshal's got a magnet or something there. He attracted Loretta Jackson a little bit earlier on, who collided with the.
Oh, he's that kind of guy. He's that kind of guy.
It must be his magnetism, I think.
I think so. Cliff's out, he's all right. Had a very hard hit with the wall.
But it's a Holden, Ross, so they can take that sort of punishment.
It is a wonder it didn't crumple into pieces, Joel,
it up.
when it hit the wall.
Had it been a Ford...
the Falcon would have just bounced off and kept going.
Well, the Falcon, I think they would have used the broom. Instead of the tow truck, they just would have swept the parts onto the infield. But being a Holden that can be just... It's a wonder you need the tow truck. It's a wonder it's not still going.
I wonder. Into the main straight away, these guys are going to really slip and slide. And Troy Whiting, that's the place to be, out in front. Bill Mcpherson in second place. Shane Carlson is third. Steve West is fourth. Then comes Williams in fifth place. But down main straight away, and our race leader, Troy Whiting. Second place, Mcpherson. Third is Carlson. Fourth is Steve West, then Darren Williams. But Troy Whiting, he's a guy who's he's only run the last 3 or 4 meetings here at the Motordrome, but in those 3 or 4 meetings, he's notched up quite a few victories and has shown that he is fast making his way into the top 10 rankings. Bill Mcpherson, Shane Carlson, Steve West, they're running a freight train going into turn 1-2. Oh, Mcpherson, he cannot get away from the concrete wall. It's where he's electing to drive, by the way. He's electing to take that really high line, and everybody just keeps following him up there. No one trying to come through on the inside. Now Carlson realises it, tries to come through on the inside and save some ground, but it's just a little bit too slippery, and they can't get the drive. So they're all hugging the concrete wall. Into main straight away, and still the red, white and blue. Car number 18 has the race lead. He's only got 5 more laps to contest.
Yes, Troy Whiting is having a very good season this season at the Wins Newcastle Motordrome. Now Carlson comes through on the inside to have another crack at Mcpherson. When Mcpherson persists with that line up high, now he might get a little bit of drive. Carlson down back straight away. Onto the inside, he tries to get the power, and I think he might grab him this time. He backed off a little bit though. Mcpherson very high on the track. Carlson on the inside. Mcpherson still keeps the line on the outside. No, Carlson got very sideways, and he's given away his 3rd position to Steve West, who was high on the wall, and he's moved up now into 3rd spot. Whiting, though, the race leader, he's only got 3.5 laps left to run. There's Carlson having trouble with the concrete wall as well. He got stuck to it and slowed him right down. He's dropped right back to 4th position. But Whiting leads the way. 2nd spot is the red 44 car of Billy Mcpherson. He's holding down that 2nd placing from Steve West in 3rd spot, who can't get closer to him at the moment. He's trying as hard as he can, but Mcpherson seems to have the power in the car. Now West gets a little bit closer down back straight away. There's only 2 more laps left to run. Whiting in front in car number 18. 2nd spot is Mcpherson, but here comes Steve West. He's starting to put the pressure to him to try and grab that 2nd spot away. He knows he's running out of laps, and he tried to come through on the inside. Now Mcpherson drifted off that line, and now he's tried to get back up, and he's squashing Steve West to the fence. West had to back off a bit, and now he's going to try and tuck in behind him. The one mistake made by Mcpherson, but West couldn't capitalise, and there's trouble over the back straight. Perkins in the 96 car has had a fence connection, and I think the steering on that car has gone all together. A lot of them were running very high on the track, and a couple of cars connected with the concrete wall, and it was the 96 of Perkins that's done a little bit of steering damage, I would say, to the car, and he's brought the race to a stoppage with 2 more laps remaining, and the conditions getting just a little bit slick for the drivers. This will bring Troy Whiting though back to the field, and the other drivers might get a second chance at him with only 2 to go.
Well, I've got to hand it to Loretta Jackson, Giles. She's having her first hit out tonight as a driver on the Motordrome, and it's difficult conditions for her. She's not going anywhere near quickly as anybody else, but she's not given in either. She's going to keep going, and she's going to get to that checkered flag.
Well, to be out there, Ross, is an achievement in itself. I mean, a lot of people sit back and say, you know, get in and burn around and do laps and that, but she's out there having a go.
I've got a medical problem. I can't drive with my medical problem.
But it's great to see some new faces in the street stock ranks.
Yep.
And now it's coming down there, staying very high on the track. You can see even now with the single file restart, Whiting's going to elect to start right up on the concrete wall. And there's only 2 laps remaining, the lights flashing. Waiting for a restart in our feature, our final for the street stocks. Now West has made the move on the inside of Bill Mcpherson, but he slid a little bit into the turn and didn't get the drive he wanted. Now he gets a little bit of drive, but Mcpherson on the outside, he's got too much power in that car. On the inside, Steve West. On the outside, Billy Mcpherson, and it's going to be close down to the line. They've only got 1 to go. Whiting leads. Oh, a little bit of a bump from Steve West to Mcpherson, but he's absorbing all the hits at the moment, and he's holding down to that 2nd spot. West trying to get up on the inside to grab it away from him. These two having a great duel for 2nd spot. Carlson's back in 4th. End of the turn they come for the last time. The winner's going to be Whiting, but who's going to grab the 2nd spot? West trying hard on the inside. Up high, Billy Mcpherson. Mcpherson, to his credit, takes the 2nd spot. A gutsy drive ahead of Steve West. Then came Carlson. Maunder, oh, he's got the old heave-ho on him. Well, I think he thought it must have been the stock cars. and he's given him the old spinner going across the line, and Rob Morn has been cleaned up by Williams in car 104. But I think it's the wrong division for that sort of stuff, as the race winner, car number 18 of Troy Whiting, does his lap of honour, and as Ross mentioned, has been in fine form here at the Winds Newcastle Motordrome.
Peter Challen on the front row of the grid, and Kevin Begg. They're on the front row. One more Litre sprint car to be pushed away. So I've just got a couple of Litre cars that were caught with their pants down, so to speak. And again, I just add my thanks to, first of all, you, the fans, for being patient and waiting. And secondly, to the drivers and officials who came out and worked away at putting the condition, the track to the best. I'd also like to point out to you that there are a number of drivers who came out and wheel packed, and they're not actually going to have any more racing for themselves on the night. So that's the kind of support we got from the competitor area. We thank those people who have come out, wheel packed, and now put their cars away on trailers because they've actually got no more racing on the card tonight. So just 2 Litre sprint cars to get fired up, and then we're ready for the action of the Castrol Litre Sprint Handicap Final. Newcastle Metal Recyclers bringing us the Test Match Series tonight, and they're the market leaders in scrap metal recycling, offering you the best prices in town, and they're at Hexham. So coming into the start zone, looking set, and they are racing. And Peter Challen got away well from the pole. Let's have a look how this track surface is going to hold up. This will be a challenge to a lot of drivers. It's going to be quite slick and slippery in the corners, but they handle it okay. Peter Challen and Paul Rinkin come through turn 3-4 as race leaders. Rinkin starting to put the pressure to Challen. On the outside he goes, and he grabs the lead, or does he? Challen tries to come back on the inside, saving some ground. Mel Guy slams through on the inside of Challen. He goes into second. So coming into main straight away, Paul Rinkin is the race leader, but we've gone to yellow lights because over here in turn 2 we have the number 9 car of Sean Barnett, who's gone for a spin. I did expect that we might have seen a few spins, so the Litre cars haven't done too badly. The conditions, I understand, in the corners are going to be a real problem for the drivers. And there's the green again. On the outside, Mel Guy is going to try and make a drag for the first corner. Peter Challen still the leader. Paul Rinkin, well, Mel Guy looked as if he was going to get a distinct advantage. Rinkin comes through on the inside of Challen. Rinkin grabs the lead. Challen tries to come back. Mel Guy tries to find a move as well. Challen ripped it out wide. Mel Guy came through on the inside. He's gone up to the second place. Challen back to third. So the interest now will be as to whether Mel Guy can peg back race leader Paul Rinkin. And here's another driver. This is Ray Wright, the Queenslander, charging his way through the pack. He's moved to third. A fine drive by him. He's he's getting up closer to Paul Rinkin and Mel Guy, and he's starting to make some ground on these 2 leaders. There's still quite a few laps to go. In fact, there's still 8 laps left, so it gives Ray Wright plenty of opportunity to grab these leaders up front. Now, Paul Rinkin settling into a nice groove. Is starting to assert his authority, but now Mel Guy's starting to make the charge. I think he can hear the Ray Wright car getting a little closer to him. Into main straightaway, there's some slower traffic. Rinkin moves up to the outside. Oh, Mel Guy got the wheel clip. And how he ran straight over the wheel of the car in front of him, which is a most uncharacteristic mistake for Mel Guy. He doesn't usually make those mistakes. And look out, Paul Rinkin is now starting to chase down, is now starting to be under pressure from Ray Wright, who's chasing Paul Rinkin down. And what a drive Ray Wright is turning in here.
Yes, he certainly is, Ross. I was watching Wright during the race earlier on, and he just settled himself in, and now he's right into the groove, and he's out after Rinkin. Rinkin's had the race lead for the majority of the race, but it's starting to come under threat now, and the threat's coming from Ray Wright in car 95 in second spot, and right up to the back he comes. Watch for the move this time. Rinkin's car seems to be sounding a little bit off too as well, so he might have trouble. Up on the inside comes Wright. Thank you very much. He grabs the race lead, and that could be all over Red Rover. Into the turn they come, and there's 3 laps to go, and the race winner, Ray Wright, in car 95. This has been a good drive by him. He just sat and waited to check the race conditions, and once he figured it out, he's got the race lead. Rinkin's done a good job in second spot. We're coming up to some of the slower cars that are having difficulty with the track conditions, but no such difficulty for the race leader, Ray Wright. Into turn 1, 2 he comes. He blasts out up on the inside of the slower car of Darryl Kime. On the outside he comes onto the back of Brendan Roots, and he's going to come in on the inside to grab the white flag, indicating 1 more lap left to run for the race leader, Ray Wright, in car 95. And Daylight in second spot. Paul Rinkin in car number 20 has dropped right off the pace, and into the turn for the last time comes the race winner, and the 95 of Ray Wright takes out the final of the leader cars. A good gutsy effort by Rinkin to hold on to second spot. We go back to third, and oh, your guess is as good as mine for third spot. It will be the 23 of Harvey. He'll pick up third, and he'll cross the line right now, just ahead of Barnett in car number 9, who did well to come from the rear. Beck was next in the 27 car, Brendan Roots in the 15, and the last couple of cars to dribble across the line, Darryl Kime in the 56 car, and Harris in car number 14 will also be one to cross the line. No time recorded due to the race stoppage. But a very impressive drive, and boy, isn't he driving well in this leader sprint division. Car number 95, now the Queenslander of Ray Wright.
Recapping the score with 6 heats to go. Australia 19, the United States 17. Starting to sprinkle again. The rain coming, so we hope we can get these heats in. I guess, Joel, with the rain around, the Australians will now just be determined to keep that 2-point advantage. If they let the Americans square up and then the test has to be called off, they throw away the advantage. So they sit in the box seat. All they've got to do is really kill each heat, and the Americans are defeated in a whitewash in the series here at the Motordrome.
They only need to get 3-all, as Ross has mentioned, and but the Americans driving very determinedly tonight. They've bounced back from that first 2 test losses, and they've been pretty impressive tonight, and they're not going to lay down and let the Australians get this 3-0 whitewash. They'll be very, very keen to try and get at least 1 test match on the board. The yellow lights are flashing now. We're about to get underway with the racing for heat number 7, Newcastle Metal Recyclers test number 3. And the green flag falls on the outside. Brown got away well. On the inside, Schwartz has got the running now. Brownie drifted. Oh, and there goes John Suarez. He want to get off the track. Well, he want to stay there because John Pine's got the race lead. Well, that's the decision I think he had to make. He saw Pine. I don't know whether he saw Pine take the lead. He was faced the other way. But I think you might find, I'm not sure whether he started at the rear or not, Ross, but he might find himself there this time.
Yes, he's at the rear of the field. It doesn't make a lot of difference to the shuffle up of the cars on the grid. He'll virtually just swap places with... In fact, he was off for, going to make no difference whatsoever to the grid. But I get a feeling, Joel, that if somebody's going to have problems handling the new conditions, it'll be John Suarez. I think Suarez will have trouble coming to grips with the track. I could be very wrong, but I just got that feeling he's not going to handle the slipperier conditions as well as the other drivers. So stand by for the restart to the 7th heat of the Newcastle Metal Recyclers' 3rd Sedan test, with Australia leading by 2 points.
In the acceleration zone they come, looking for the green flag. And they'll get it too this time. A good start on the outside. John Brown got away a little bit better. He might drift up this time. No, he keeps it nice and tight and low on the Australians. 1 and 3. John Brown out in front. Charlie Schwartz is stuck in the middle. John Pine in 3rd spot. And Suarez is back in 4th position. They complete the first lap. It's John Brown. He's got the lead for the Aussies. They're going to try and stretch this lead a little bit further with the conditions a little bit dodgy. And Brownie holding on to the lead from the Schwartz in 2nd. Now John Pine starting to give Schwartzy to hurry up. And back at the tail of the field, oh, it's Suarez. And there's Schwartz climbing all over the back of John Brown. And John Pine nearly got the opportunity to come up on the inside. But Piney wasn't quite close enough to capitalise. Now Schwartz tucks it down nice and low as John Brown starts to kick away for the Australians. He'll come down to grab the white flag. And this has been a good drive by Brown. He's only got 1 to go. Schwartz is under pressure from John Pine. He wants to make it a 5-1. Schwartz is going to have something to say about it though in 2nd spot. He might even have a crack at the race lead because Brown got a little bit balked. Into the final turn they come. Brownie shut him off though. Down to the race line, and it's John Brown for Australia. Charlie Schwartz 2nd. John Pine will pick up 3rd for the Aussies. And John Suarez, as Ross mentioned, just struggling a little bit in these wet conditions and a much slower time than the earlier heats due to the weather conditions. 1 minute 7.433 the time recorded for heat number 7.
On the scoreboard it was 4 to Australia, 3 to John Brown and 1 to John Pine. Gave them a heat total of 4. For the Americans it was 2 points. 2 points to Charlie Schwartz. John Suarez failed to score. 4-2 in favour of Australia, giving them a 4-point lead. Australia on 23, with the United States on 19. Here's heat 8.
Heat number 8 gets underway on the outside. France has got a good start. On the inside, Stu Robertson. Well, the Americans coming 1-2. Robbo got the split. Oh, what a good drive by Robbo. He got the drive he wanted out of the turn, and he slingshotted to the race lead. Stu Robertson for Australia. He leads from Francis. Then comes Bert Cheatham and Ron Pine. It's at the tail of the field. It's a 3-all situation. Stu Robertson's got to hold on to this race lead. There's Francis having a little bit of trouble going into turn 1-2. Now he gets it sorted out. Well, Robbo, he went nearly sideways there. On the inside, Francis tries to use the whole racetrack a little bit more, and he's trying to come through on the inside but can't get him. Cheatham back in 3rd spot, and Ron Pine hammering away at the back of Cheatham to try and get up into that 3rd placing. But Stu Robertson, he's got the race lead. He's starting to kick away from the field. Francis in 2nd spot, then comes Cheatham, then Ron Pine starting to drop off the pace a little bit. But Stu Robbo's killed the 3 points for Australia. That's all they want. They just want to kill the 3. Into the final turn, Francis. He's going to have one last dive at him. He's not close enough. Down to the line, Stewie Robbo for Australia gets the 3. Francis right on his hammer for 2nd spot. Cheatham will grab the 3rd placing, and Ron Pine finishes in 4th spot, 105.159.
And Robbo's got car trouble, Joel. It went off going down the back straight away. I think he's got a carburettor problem. The officials telling me that when they were talking to Robbo in the break that he was not happy with the carburettor and is going to Sydney tomorrow to buy a new one. So the car's gone off, but let's check the scoreboard. It was a 3-all heat, which is basically all Australia need. They've got the advantage. The 3 points went to Stewie Robertson in car number 4, and Ron Pine failed to get on the scoreboard. Whilst for the Americans, Steve Francis scored 2 and Bert Cheatham scored 1, and that kept the scoreboard at 3-all. But it does keep Australia 4 points in front with 4 heats to go. Australia 26, leading the USA 22. 2 minutes is being placed on the Australian team because Bert Cheatham is on the racetrack for the United States, and John Soary's, the captain, is on the racetrack, whilst John Pine is the only Australian car there. Ron Pine is the other one due to be out there, but they're having a quick look under the bonnet of the Ron Pine car. Something's amiss. Now the bonnet goes back on. They've still got a little over a minute to make it to the racetrack, with the Australians leading by 4 points. One more minute to go for Ron Pine, but he's out on the racetrack. So they group up for what is now going to be a vital heat for the Americans. They must now start to peg back points on the Australians. And if they don't start pegging back the points now, their task is going to be really difficult. Then 5-1s become a must. If they can get a couple of 4-2s, they're right back in this test match. Stand by for Heat 9 of the Newcastle Metal Recyclers' 3rd Sedan test.
Very important heat as well, as Ross mentioned. United States going to have to try and grab some of these points back. No start this time round. John Soares just backed off a little bit there. So Soares will be looking for a quick start here. He won't want to let Ron Pine skip away. Australia looking to stretch that lead. In the acceleration zone. That's a little bit better start, and they get the green flag. Soares was the quickest away. Ron Pine threw it into the turn and came into 2nd spot. On the inside he goes, and Ronnie's got him. Up on the inside, John Pine's going to follow him through. He has. Oh, that's good aggressive driving by the Australians. Up 1 and 2, and they're going to make it very hard for the United States, who are floundering at the back of the pack. Ron Pine leads. John Pine in 2nd spot, and that could be all over. 3rd place is Soares and tailed right off Bert Cheatham, but the Aussies, oh, haven't they driven well as a team? Oh, United States Soares, as Ross called it earlier on, he's having all sorts of trouble. The Australians are starting to walk away with this one. Ron Pine got the race lead. John Pine right on his hammer, just waiting to cover, but Cheatham's not close enough. Down they come with 1 lap to go. Ronnie Pine for Australia. John Pine for Australia, 1 and 2. Bert Cheatham back in 3rd spot. Oh, and this could be the death knell for the United States. Only half a lap to go. And let's hear it for the Aussies. What a great effort. Ron Pine will take the checkered flag from John Pine in 2nd, 1 and 2. 3rd place is going to go to Cheatham, and John Soares fails to finish the race. And the times are starting to come down. 1 minute 2.349, the time recorded for heat number 9.
Well, we said the Americans had to start pegging the scoreboard back, and the Australians have just said, no way. 5-1 to the Australians. 3 points to Ron Pine, 2 points to John Pine, 1 point to Bert Cheatham. John Soares failed to finish. Australia 5, the USA 1, and so now an all-important 8-point break with only 3 heats to go. Australia 31, the United States 23. So the teams on the track, both the American cars are there. Stu Robertson is out, and now John Brown joins the racetrack action. Now, the Americans, Joel, in my quick calculation, are now in a must-win situation. If they don't win this heat, even if it's a 3-all, they have got big problems.
Ready for the start, heat number 10. And they get the green flag. Schwartz knows the importance. On the outside he goes. He grabs the race lead. He slowed though. Back on the inside, Stu Robertson, but Schwartz came back at him and he holds the race lead. This is what the United States want. That's what Ross was talking about. They're going to have to start pegging the points back. Caution flag goes out to Stu Robertson. He's very fired up and determined in this one. Schwartz is trying to slow him up too to let Francis come through on the inside, and Francis got a bit of a look here. They need a 5-1 situation to bring him right back into the series. Out in front is Charlie Schwartz. Stu Robertson for Australia. Then comes Francis. You can see Schwartz start to balk a little bit. Francis nearly lost it there. He's got to hold on to that third spot. John Brown right behind, waiting for any mistake he can. One more lap to go. Out in front, Captain America Charlie Schwartz. Well, he's not sorry. He's out in front, though. Second spot, Stu Robertson. Then comes Francis back in third. And John Brown needs to get up in front of him for a 3-all situation. Into the final turn. United States grab the win. Charlie Schwartz takes it out. Stu Robertson second. Francis came quickly on the line. He got third place. And fourth place goes to John Brown, 102.517. And the United States start to peg the points back in heat number 10.
Well, we pointed it out that the Americans needed to win, otherwise they were going to face an almost impossible situation. 4-2 to the Americans from that heat. The 3 points went to Charlie Schwartz. The 1 point went to Steve Francis. The 2 points for Australia went to Stu Robertson, with John Brown failing to score. So it means that after 10 heats, Australia 33, the USA 27, they trail by 6. So the situation now is they must have a 5-1 heat. One of these heats has got to be a 5-1er, or the Americans have got no chance.
And Charlie Schwartz Ross is substituting in this one by the look. Looks like he's still out on the track, and John Soares will be the man I'd reckon he'd be substituting for.
Well, they've got to go for it, Joel. I mean, they're trailing. They've got to get a 5-1. You've now got Cheatham and Schwartz. Cheatham's certainly shown that he can pick up the points tonight. Schwartz is going to Cheatham's got the pole position. So Schwartz might be able to drive himself into some cover here. Here is a great chance for the Americans to hit back. Are you American supporters going to give them some urging on? No, not really. So let's see what happens. This is a crunch heat. Heat 11 with the Australians leading by 6 points.
Second last heat of the third test match. Brownie's decided to slow things up a little bit this time. The United States, John Soares did a little bit earlier on. Now Brownie's just settling things down a little bit. Very important heat, this one. Australia must get the 3-all situation. They can't afford to let America back into this test match. Looking for the start. And they got it to it on the outside. John Brown came across very quickly. On the inside, Ron Pine, he got into third spot. Oh, well, he muscled his way through, and Cheatham's going to stop. Is it no? Charlie Schwartz. He's going to stop.
Charlie's going to kill it. Yep, he's going to kill the heat.
Come on.
Charlie's going to kill the heat.
Well, I think he was in 4 anyway, Ross.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It still gives him an opportunity right at the start to put himself into a scoring position. Now, he and Ron Pine came together. Schwartz decided... Oh, there's Schwartz coming down on Ron Pine.
Well, the American's not happy, Ross.
No, there's some ill feeling. There's no doubt about that at all. Charlie Schwartz is venting a little bit of his anger on the fact that Ron Pine charged into the side of his car.
Well, for mine, Ross, I think it was a fair move. I mean, it was a little bit aggressive, but he came through on the inside. Schwartz drifted a little bit, and Schwartz is not happy. He's going to come over and have a few words.
Very experienced, though, Joel. You notice immediately he wasn't going to chase out after the rest of the field. He said, oh, no, none of that for me, pal. I'm just going to sit here mid-track, and I'm going to start this race all over again. Now, Ron Pine, let's see.
Needs a bit of a push start, I think, Ross. But trouble firing it up for most of the night. It's had to be pushed away.
Now, the chief steward's just a little concerned about some of the aggression on track, and he has ordered a single file restart. Charlie Schwartz to the rear. So the Australians will be able to substitute. The only reason they'll be able to substitute is so John Pine comes on to substitute for Ron Pine. So John Pine will go up into position 3. Schwartz will want to run side by side, but the steward is not going to start them. He wants a single file restart.
Well, Ross, in my opinion, he's going to have to pull rank shortly, and Charlie Schwartz doesn't come into line. The black flag's going to have to come out. But he's got all the tricks up his sleeve, Schwartz.
He certainly has.
Very, very experienced.
He'll test everybody's patience. Don't worry. He'll hang back here and slow the start down again. I wonder, will the steward let him go anyway? He might trap himself out here. Charlie's really playing the cunning fox at the moment. And the fans are venting their disapproval at Charlie's tactics at the moment. I think the steward's going to start him. Away they go. So this is it. It's all over, Red Rover. Australia must win the test match, because it doesn't matter how they finish up, they've got to win the test match.
Well, out in front, John Brown. John Pine's going to make it 5-1 up on the inside. Thank you very much. He's going to rub salt into the wounds with a 5-1. John Pine moves to second spot. John Brown out in front. And Bert Cheatham, the lone American, out on the track. And he's in third spot. He's holding on to the race lead, John Brown. He's not going to surrender it. He's way out in front. John Pine in second spot. Then comes Cheatham. And Charlie Schwartz spat the dummy. And he's gone on to the infield. And it's all John Brown and all Australia. They're going to walk away with this third test match. One more lap to go, and they're looking at a 5-1, the second last heat. Out in front, Brownie. Second spot is John Pine. Then comes Bert Cheatham, but he's nowhere near them. Down back straight away for the last time. Another 5-1 to Australia, led home by John Brown. He takes the win. John Pine second. Third place goes to Bert Cheatham. And failing to finish was Charlie Schwartz. 1 minute 1.515. 1 minute 1.515. And a big dummy spit to Charlie Schwartz.
And a 10-point lead to the Australians, because with that 5-1 heat, that is 3 points to John Brown, 2 points to John Pine, substituting for Ron. Bert Cheatham scored 1 point for the United States. Charlie Schwartz failed to score. And 5 to the Australians, 1 to the Americans, makes it Australia 38, the United States 28. 2 minutes on the Australian team. Steve Francis on the track, and Stu Robertson for Australia on the track. And we've got Bert Cheatham to finish it up with Steve Francis for the United States. And we're waiting to see which Australian car will come to the racetrack, but it doesn't really matter. It's an anti-climax now, with the Australians having wrapped up the test match and the series. A whitewash to the Americans here in Newcastle, just proving the strength of the Newcastle Sedan club. And with the Australian titles only 24 hours away, boy oh boy, here comes the captain of the Aussies, Captain Kangaroo, John Pine. This is the final heat, and now it's just a matter of statistics by how far the Australians win the Newcastle Metal Recyclers' third Super Sedan test.
12th and final heat. The Aussies will be determined to finish on a high. The Americans are going to have to try and stop them for a 5-1. Up to the start they come. They got the green too. Well, John Pine was slow to get away. Francis jumped to the race lead. Oh, but he's thrown it away up onto the infield, and Piney goes round the outside. But Cheatham's managed to get up in a third spot underneath Stu Robertson, and Francis is having all sorts of trouble handling the car. He's holding on to second spot. Third place is Bert Cheatham. Then comes Stu Robertson at the tail of the field, but John Pine, he's got the race lead. He's going to lead the Aussies home in this 3-0 whitewash assault on the United States. John Pine leads. Francis is not going to give up though. He's chasing hard and getting close to Pine. He nearly got up on the inside there. He hiked the wheel as he came out of turn 1-2. Cheatham back in third spot. Then comes Stu Robertson. Down they come with one to run. John Pine leads the way. Second place Francis. Then comes Cheatham, followed by Stu Robertson. But John Pine starting to walk away with this one. Half a lap to go and it's all over. Into the final turn for the last time, and let's hear it for the Aussies. John Pine wins and take out the 3-0 whitewash. Second goes to Francis, third will be Cheatham to make it a 3-all situation, and Stu Robertson finishes in fourth in a very quick time of 59.848, just outside the record. So really fired up was John Pine in that one, and he's led the Aussies home in heat number 12.
So New South Wales won. John Pine picks up 3 points, and it was Stewie Robertson who failed to score. For the Americans, Steve Francis had 2, and Bert Cheatham had 1. The final score in the test match, Australia 41 have defeated the United States 31.
So 3-0 in the series to Australia. They've made the clean sweep, and a full credit to the guys. They really have performed well together as a team. The teamwork showed out over the 3 test matches, and full credit to them must go, especially coming up to these Australian titles. They really have got a good chance for a couple of locals to finish in the top 3 placings. But well done to the guys. They really deserve a pat on the back. Bad luck to the United States drivers. They were in it right till the end. They never gave up to their credit. Even when they were in an impossible win situation, they still didn't lie down. They gave it everything they had, but they just couldn't pull it off. They had a lot of trouble with the mechanical difficulties in the early tests. But tonight, they had all 4 cars running, but Australia were just a little bit too good in the end, and well done to the guys. John Brown especially, he's driven very well, led by John Pine, Ron Pine as well, and Stu Robertson. All the guys have had a huge effort, and it was the key word was a team effort. They really did perform well as a team. They mixed in well. There was doubts going into the test series over some of the selections, whether they would hold their places, but John Brown certainly cemented his spot in the team and did a really great job, as did the other drivers, John Pine, Ron Pine and Stu Robertson, and they've brought home the bacon for the Aussies. 3-0 in the Test match series. Well, you can't get any better than that. They completely blew them off the track. 41 points to 31 in the end was the end result, and that's a great effort for the Aussies. They're going to go around now, so show them your appreciation, because the guys are going to do a lap of honour, and let's hear it for the Australian team. Good on you guys, well done. They really have put in a huge effort to knock the Americans over. They were beaten last year in the series, and this year they've bounced back stronger than ever to take out the series 3 Test matches to 0. And just show them your support as they go around. They are doing their lap of honour, and no doubt they'll be very, very happy with the way they've gone tonight, and it's been a great performance.
Joel, we're down here in the American pit area. Charlie Schwartz wraps it up for yet another year here in Australia, but on an unhappy note tonight, but you guys gave it your best shot.
Well, we've just been down on cars, you know. I mean, you know, they just haven't been strong. We've lost a couple every night for some reason, and you know, it's hard to win like that. And then, you know, that's about all I can say.
Yeah, you still gave it your best shot, Charlie. Another tour of Australia gone, a couple of more Test matches. Maybe we'll see you back again.
Maybe. I doubt it.
Okay, maybe the last time we see Charlie Schwartz. Bert Cheatham, boy, it just hasn't been a happy time for you at all here at Newcastle. The cars have just not been on song. Things haven't gone right for you.
Yeah, it's been a little tough, but we've had a good time. We enjoy the support the fans give us, and maybe next year.
Tough time weather-wise here too in Australia, although you're not doing much better back in the States either.
No, we've had a bit of snow at home, but things will get better.
Good luck for the rest of the trip.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here in Newcastle. John Soares has gone down into the pit area. I don't know whether I can see Steve Francis around here somewhere or not, Joel, but we'll get over here to the Australian team and congratulate them on taking out the series by 3 Test matches to 0. A clean sweep of the series here at the Newcastle Motordrome, and I'm sure they'll want to have something to say to you, the fans who have stuck by them here tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, the captain for Australia, John Pine. John, congratulations. The team has done it. 3 Test matches to 0. You would be absolutely happy with that.
Ecstatic, Ross, especially when the rain come there tonight. It took the bloody wind out of everybody's sails, and mate, it's great for the crowd to even stick around, because I didn't think we were going to have a racetrack there at the end.
Didn't look like it, no. It didn't look like it.
No, and I'd like to thank the crowd for doing it, and we just put on one hell of a show. It was a team effort, Ross.
Well,
we raced the team.
Just about to make the point, John. I think you had 3 victories, but there were 3 very important second places in there where you covered for a couple of guys in front of you, and as you said, it was the team effort tonight.
Well, Ross, that's what it's all about. You look after the guy in front of you, and that's what I went out tonight, and I'd say the other guys, they done the best, and they done everything they were supposed to do. If they got to the front, look after front number 1, and we'll chase from the back, and I think that's how we beat them. It was just hard racing, and that clock's coming back down, Ross.
Yeah, 59. I think it was just outside the record, the 59.8, I think it was. But, boy, we're in for some fast times over the next 3 nights.
Yeah, well, you know, I think it's going to be one hell of an Australian title, and I just hope the crowd come back for heats on Friday, because that's where the action's going to be. If you don't get a good heat win or heat position, you're not going to get a good start in the final on the Saturday. And I just hope that the best man wins, and hope it's a Newcastle guy.
Okay, good on you, John. Ron Pine will be defending that title. We'll talk to him more later on. But, boy, you started to get a bit aggressive there towards the end. Started to want to mix it up with the guys and say, we're on the song. What's the story?
Now, what happened actually is he come into the turn 1 and he slipped in and he held my right rear and he turned left. Now, if I'd have picked my throttle up, I'd have went straight in the wall myself. So I just got off the throttle, and you seen what happened. And then when I pulled up beside him, he just ran me. I want to know how much money it cost him.
Well, we'll find out a little later on.
I think they just lost the plot because we were kicking their ass.
Yeah, they lost the plot. They got a bit frustrated. Ron, we'll talk to you at the Australian title.
I'd like to thank my pit crew and everybody coming tonight, because it's a really shit of a night in the rain. I hope we done all well and you all go home happy. And also, I'd like to tell everybody that I will be number 1 at midnight Saturday night.
Okay, good on you, Ronnie. We're going to wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen. That wraps it up for tonight. No more events left on our card, because we do appreciate the fact that you had to sit there in the rain. You did want to see the Test match, and we did want to get those 6 heats on for you. So that concludes our program tonight. We thank Newcastle Metal Recyclers for their assistance in presenting the Test match. We congratulate the Australians. Tomorrow night, official practice starts at 7 o'clock for the Australian Super Sedan title. Friday night at 7:30, the heats, and on Saturday night, the grand final starting at 7:30. From trackside, Ross Allen and Joel Allen in the tower, wishing you all good night. Look forward to your company tomorrow night.